Let me talk to your neighbor there, your immediate neighbor, Senator Omo-Agege, who is, I mean, a lawyer also and a senator. What comes to your mind, especially, it was a new dawn also for the National Assembly. The political map also changed at that, the two chambers there.
Absolutely. Let me begin by aligning myself with the positions taken by the spokesperson for Mr. President. That election was a landmark election. It was a transformational election. The lesson we've learned is that if you're dogged, you play by the rules, you should expect good results. It's obvious to everyone that the only reason Mr. President was able to prevail in that election is because of the improvements that were made, to the electoral system, including but not limited to the use of the card reader. We've come to accept the position that in the absence of that card reader, it would have been almost impossible for Mr. President to prevail. Because everyone knows that in all of the previous elections is contested in 2003, in 2007, and in 2011. We know he won those elections. But it's only now in 2015, with the use of the card reader, that an audit trail, was established, to be able to sustain those results. And that is what I take away, as most people, from 2015 elections.
Let me come straight to the Lagos studio. Ken Okolugbo, you were a commissioner at that time when the election held. For a party, your party had said, some said 60 years, 80 years, some even said 100 years that your party was going to hold sway in Nigeria. Losing that election, what are the major lessons for the PDP?
Well, looking at it holistically, it was something some of us saw through, because apart from the fact that I was a member of the Presidential Campaign Council in 2011, and it was obvious to us that if Goodluck Jonathan was going to stand for elections in 2015, what was going to happen would have happened. It wasn't rocket science when Rotimi Amechi said what Femi Adesina just quoted him as saying. It was obvious, but a lot of people in my party as a then played the psychophancy card, so they did not want to see it. If we had gotten a presidential candidate from the north, if we had gotten, say, Rabiu Kwakwansu, for example, who was a member of our party up until 7 months to the elections, there was no way Buhari would have won that election. Why do I say this? In Kanu, for example, in 2011, Goodluck had 403,000 votes, and Buhari got about 1 million votes. And if you look at the 2015 elections, Buhari got 1,903,000 votes, and Goodluck got 215,000 votes. Even though he had Shekau, who was a former governor, supporting him. But in 2011, Shekau, who was on the ticket of AMPP, got only 500,000 votes. Why do I use Kanu as an indices? Buhari has always won the elections up north. In every election, he contested against Obasanjo, even against Yaradua, who was a son of Katsina. He has always won those elections. And so it was always obvious that Buhari was always going to do well in the northern state because of the cult followership he has always had in the northern state. And so the indices between 2011 and 2015 wasn't there for us as a party. And we should have looked beyond, because the 5 governors that left us only wanted us to keep to the agreement that Goodluck was only going to do the remaining tenure for Yaradua, which we didn't do. So the bitter lesson we have there is that in future, we should look beyond just personalities in an election. I worked for Goodluck Jonathan. I was his agent in 2011 for the primary election between himself and Atiku. Remember, Atiku was chosen as a northern candidate, which most people might not remember. And I know how difficult it was for us for states like Gombe in that primary. States, apart from Jigawa, Murtala Nyako, Sule Lamido, who delivered their states. We lost Gombe, we lost Sokoto, we lost Kano, we lost all those states during the primaries. So that was a pointer for where we're going to go to in 2020.
Let me allow Yemi to come in. I know you were one of those who clamored for the clarity in the electoral process in terms of what INEC did in 2011 compared to what they were going to do in 2015. You were one of those who were saying votes must count. Did votes really count in 2015?
I think for the most part they did. I think overall, I mean, the 2015 elections have been analyzed and reanalyzed. But I think ultimately what the lesson, at least from an advocacy point of view, is the power of citizens' vote. I mean, you said it in your intro, for the first time an incumbent was beaten. So it's not, I mean, for us it's not a party issue, but an opportunity for citizens who felt that either the Jonathan administration didn't deliver, they were diehard APC party members, or whatever their reasoning was, they felt that they could go to the ballot. And you saw people really excited to participate in the process. I mean, EAE as an organization, for example, lost 4 board members who decided that they wanted to be partisan in that election process. So I think, for me, that was the beauty of that landmark election, that citizens were excited about voting and thought their votes would count.
As a matter of introduction, my guests have weighed in on what they made of the 2015 general election. What did you make of the 2015 election that gets us stuck in? We're going to learn from it and look at our electoral process and the way forward. The change mantra, we're going to probe into some of President Muhammadu Buhari's government activities. We'll take a moment. And when we return, more on the significance of the 2015 election and the lessons.